So around a year ago, the Warrior Cats website put out a poll asking which Warrior Cats character should have a super edition written for them, and the result was Leopardstar's Honor. And this year, we get to decide which cat will get a super edition in 2022. We have Mistystar, Ivypool, and Riverstar. Now before I get started, I just want to point out the elephant in the room. A few hours after the poll first opened, it got completely rigged with bot votes for Riverstar. I think it's obvious enough that they won't give it to Riverstar without question, so Ivypool fans, don't lose hope yet. But this is still a developing story, so I want to let it play out before I make a full video on it. If I have any updates by the time this video releases, I'll show them on screen now. Moving on. Out of these three cats, Mistystar was the least popular and least likely to win. Honestly, I'm fine with this. We know she is going to be a major focus in the upcoming story arc, so why not just let her shine there? If we have a super edition revealing all the secrets of Mistystar's past, that robs us of all the interesting reveals that the A Starless Clan books can bring. Plus, we literally just got Leopardstar's Honor, which retold the Tiger Clan story, and since that story is a huge part of Mistystar's life as well, I think it's good that we don't retell that again so soon. Retelling existing story events with little new information is a huge pet peeve of mine in Warrior Cats. So, Ivypool or Riverstar? Let's start with Riverstar. If we get Riverstar, there are two very distinct options they could choose. One is telling the story of his rise from kithood to leader, and the other is an original story about what happened while he was leader. Option 1 would fall right into my pet peeve of retelling existing story events. Riverstar's origin story was detailed in the bonus scene of Thunder Rising. He was a cat of the park before being washed down a river and landing in the forest territory and living his life there. And this was before Dawn of the Clans, so if they told this story, it would follow that they would have to tell the story of the great battle with Greywing and Clearsky, and most of Dawn of the Clans. It would be better than Leopardstar's Honor in the sense that Dawn of the Clans is less familiar and has more flexibility with world building, but it would be worse in the sense that River Ripple was very distantly involved in the Dawn of the Clans plot. He offers support but doesn't really stir the pot himself. Option 2 would be much preferred. River Ripple was never the center of conflicts in Dawn of the Clans, so creating a new conflict for him to be part of would work best. And there would be even more flexibility as they can use an even less developed time period. However, as much as I prefer option 2, I see option 1 as far more likely. The Cats of the Park is the largest aspect of River Ripple's backstory. I don't see the authors leaving those scenes out when they could very easily milk the drama surrounding his loneliness after being separated from them, so the beginning of the story is easier to write. And also, I don't see them spending all that time with the Cats of the Park and then just skipping past the entirety of Dawn of the Clans to tell the story afterwards. But still, I see a lot of potential for the Riverstar Super Edition. I found Mothflight's vision to be a rather awkward story, so I'd love to see them try again with Dawn of the Clans. And it might be fun seeing them give personalities to those early River Clan cats. Still, my personal preference has got to be Ivypool. With her, I think the chances of a story being retold are significantly less likely. Ivypool's main conflict in the books was her training in the Dark Forest, but we don't have to worry about that conflict being retold from her perspective because it was already told in her perspective. They would practically be forced to copy-paste chapters from Omen of the Stars if they went that route, which Warrior Cats would never do. So they would either retell the events from A Vision of Shadows and Broken Code, or they would have to think up something entirely new that takes place between the books. You know me, I'm on the side of new, and with Ivypool having little relevance in Vision of Shadows and Broken Code, I think getting a fresh story out of her is far more likely than Riverstar. The existence of Omen of the Stars prevents them from telling Ivypool's Kit and Apprentice story, so without that anchor, toss out the overused Super Edition format of littering time skips everywhere, and go with the more juicy format of telling a single focus story. The single focus Super Editions are usually my favorites, and if they can tell an in-between arc story, like Her Father's Trial did, I think there's a lot of genuine potential. There's a better track record of telling interesting stories when the cats don't have to age a significant amount every couple of chapters. For example, what if we had a story where a group of rogue cats, possibly Sleekwhisker among them, knew Dark Forest battle moves? We could have a cool mystery that would not only call upon Ivypool's past and use her knowledge to save the day, We could explore her relationships with other Dark Forest cats such as Blossomfall. We could see her struggle to live up to her former glory because she's probably out of shape after having kids and not Dark Forest training. And let's not forget about Dovewing! There was huge tension established between the two cats when Dovewing left for Shadow Clan. I would love to see that plot point explored and potentially resolved, similar to how Crowfeather's trial acted to bring resolution to the tension that existed with his many relationships. Former protagonists are the perfect characters for Super Editions, as these cats, more often than not, still have plot points that were not fully wrapped up. Squirrelflight was an amazing protagonist in her Super Edition, and I still want a Jayfeather Super Edition one day. I just like characters that I already know I love. And one more thing. The past 9 years, 2013 to 2021, the Tomcat protagonists have really outnumbered the she-cats, so in addition to Ivypool being a great character, she'd be good female representation. But despite my preference, I would never turn my nose up at more Dawn of the Clans content. I'd be happy to read whichever cat wins. Heck, I'd even read Mistystar. The announcement of a Super Edition is interesting regardless of the focus cat. Alright, bye everyone. Let's hope that the Warrior Cats poll fiasco gets sorted out soon.